quick tutorial on how to do this sort of like living weird armor effects, nurgly stuff that uses some sort of unusual techniques. Let's start off by just doing straight base coat. This is the Chimera Violet. Just a single, single layer here, just decent base coat. You don't need two thin layers, so you can just do it with one. And here's the old wet palette. We got just all Chimera colors here. We got phthalo green at the bottom, then they're cold yellow, which is just azo yellow. I believe this is phthalo blue, green shade, they're red, and then white and black. And really here I'm just mixing up sort of like a desaturated yellowish green, very light, almost pastel color. And just be careful when you're adding black, because it really is powerful. And the goal here is to have just like a really high contrasty color with the purple, and just to dilute the crap out of this later on. This is going to be like a glaze consistency. It's like the first dilution here. It's pretty much a glaze, and then here it's like borderline breaking the acrylic binder here. Actually, this does get a little glossy, but it still works. And here's basically, you're using the added transparency of having this at a glaze consistency, and just defining your whole shape with this, speeding it up. The goal here is just to have as much chaos and variation as possible, and to just keep it interesting instead of having like a nice homogeneous layer. The light green really contrasts well with the violet base coat, which is why it gives this like very weird sci-fi vibe. And this is after a few layers, and now here comes the sweet stuff. You get magenta in this case, sort of like a layer consistency, and just put a big blob on there. And basically what we're gonna do is we're just gonna mess up with feathering. So you just get some water in your brush and you try to remove it, but you leave a little bit. You try to leave essentially the tide mark. And by leaving the tide mark, so this is like the little part that dried around that initial pool, you can have these super fine sort of like veiny looking structures, and you just do this a bunch of times. And just wait a little bit for it to start drying, and then you remove all the excess with just a little bit of water on your brush, and you just kind of like glaze out or just push out the rest of the pigments. So the cool thing about this technique is that you're creating a couple of different layers. You're making this super fine, veiny, like very organic looking, patterns, and you're also like glazing at the same time, because you are feathering still. So you're kind of doing several things in one go. And here I'm now doing it with red, but pretty much the same thing. Just drawing these like thick blobs and then cleaning them up and leaving a little bit behind. And really this is like the key to the effect. At this point it's already got like quite a bit of character, and you'd probably be happy with this, to be honest with you, but we can really increase some of the complexity by glazing in some extra color. So here I got some blue. This is just phthalo blue, green shade, also from Chimera. I'm just gonna define this area and actually glaze it in correctly. Yeah, so, with regards to glazing on this color, it because it's fairly light, you can very easily change like the characteristics of it. Here I'm glazing some yellow. This is just cold yellow, so it's just azo yellow by Chimera as well. And it turns a lot greener, and you can put your original greenish color back in as well. You can glaze that back in, give it some more character, and it just gives it a lot of different noise, if you will. But it all looks very organic because of just sort of randomness. And then here I'm just doing a little edge highlighting on a little piece because I just felt it was too dark and giving a little color. And then clean up, just a little bit of black over some of the parts that went too far. And that's basically it. Really easy, really straightforward. This one, I probably went a little bit too fast, but still got some interesting textures and it was like organic, very like growth looking stuff. Anyways, hope this helps.